Today's live stream is going to be dedicated towards the fear of selling. Most people have a fear of selling, even though they know that when you sell, sales is the lifeblood of any business. And if you want to have cash, and if you want to make sure that you're selling and you have a business at the end of the day, then you want to pay attention to this. The fear that you have for selling is much deeper than you are aware of. It's not just a fear of rejection. It's not just a fear of being told no. There's probably and very likely a childhood memory that is stuck somewhere in your nervous system, whether it's an ECHO, an echo, or whether it's an IFS part. There is that part of you that has had an experience from childhood that you're traumatized by, and that traumatic event has caused you to avoid selling at all costs. And even when you do sell, you cringe, you feel uncomfortable, you feel like you're not enough, you feel like what you're selling is not worth shit. So today, what we're gonna do is we're gonna release that shit, okay? I'm gonna start tapping now. And this is relevant for me too. This is very relevant for me too. The fear of selling. The fear of selling. The fear of selling. We have a fear of selling. By the way, my name is Gabriel Sarah, and today is dun, 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 the Tuesday, the 16th of December at 4:34 a.m. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, it doesn't matter. The 16th of December at 4:34 a.m. So I have this fear of selling myself, and I think I've just been avoiding that. I've just been avoiding doing the thing that I know is going to work, that's tried and true, and there is this fear of selling. So today, I'm going to go really deep on this fear of selling. We're going to go through several rounds of what's called EFT Tapping. EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Technique. And basically what we're doing here is we are letting go and releasing that fear of selling. And the way that we're going to do that is we're going to address the feeling, we're going to address the memory that has been making us feel that fear. And when we feel into that fear, as we keep tapping, we're going to find that that fear intensity decreases significantly. So without further ado, I'm going to put on my headphones. Wrong way. I turn on my headphones. There's an app on my phone that I use. It's called Brain FM, and I use the meditation track. Okay, so this is the app right here. It's called Brain FM. Okay. Guide for the iPhone. And this is how it looks like. Okay, we have focus. Hey. Whoa, where we going? Where we going? We have focus. We have sleep. We have meditate, workout, etc. We're gonna click on sleep. We're gonna do. Meditate, unguided, 40 minutes. Let's go. We're going to start off with the karate chop hand. All the EFT points are in the description. And let us begin. Even though I have this fear of selling, I choose to acknowledge where that comes from and release that from my nervous system now. Even though I have this fear of selling, I acknowledge. I'm willing to look at where it comes from and release that from my nervous system now. Even though I have this fear of selling, I am willing to look at where this comes from and release that from my nervous system now. Before we begin, I'm Before we move on, we're going to rate this intensity, okay? So I'm going to just tap at the top of my head. I'm going to use one hand to do what's called a self-muscle test. And if you don't know what that is, you can Google it, YouTube, other videos about it for right now. And let's do this. Show me yes. Show me no. Show me true. Show me false. My name is Gabriel. My name is Hema. My name is Soraya. My name is Mama. My name is Gabriel. I have a fear of selling. I believe I have a fear of selling. I feel energetic charges behind the fear of selling. The emotional intensity of the fear of selling. Let's do that again. On a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being the highest, the emotional intensity of the fear of selling has an emotional charge of 5 or higher. It has an emotional charge of 5. It has an emotional charge of 6. It has an emotional charge of 7. Okay, look, there we go. The fear of charging, on a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being the highest, my fear of selling has an emotional charge of 7. There you go. So I'm at a 7. Let's get that down to a 0 by the end of the session. Even though I have this fear of selling, I am willing to release that from my nervous system now. Even though I have this fear of selling, I am willing to release that from my nervous system now. Even though I have this fear of selling, I am willing to release that from my nervous system now. Even though I have this fear of selling, I am willing to release that from my nervous system now. Even though I have this fear of selling, I'm willing to release that from my nervous system now. Even though I have this fear of selling, I'm willing to release that from my nervous system now. Even though I have this fear of selling, I'm willing to release that from my nervous system now. Even though I have this fear of selling, I'm willing to release that from my nervous system now. Even though I have this fear of selling, I am willing to release that from my nervous system now. Even though I have this fear of selling, I'm willing to release that from my nervous system now. Even though I have this fear of selling, I am willing to release that from my nervous system now. Even though I have this fear of selling, I am willing to release that from my nervous system now. Even though I have this fear of selling, I am willing to release that from my nervous system now. Even though I have this fear of selling, I am willing to release that from my nervous system now. Even though I have this fear of selling, I am willing to release that from my nervous system now. Even though I have this fear of selling, I am willing to release that from my nervous system now. Even though I have this fear of selling, I am willing to release that from my nervous system now. Even though I have this fear of selling, I'm willing to release that from my nervous system now. We have one more round. Even though I have this fear of selling, I am willing to release that from my nervous system now. Even though I have a fear of selling, I'm willing to release that from my nervous system now. You gotta really feel it now. Even though I have a fear of selling, I'm willing to release that from my nervous system now. Even though I have a fear of selling, I am willing to release that from my nervous system now. Even though I have a fear of selling, I am willing to release that from my nervous system now. Even though I have a fear of selling, I am willing to release that from my nervous system now. Even though I have a fear of selling, I release that from my nervous system now. Even though I have a fear of selling, I am willing to release that from my nervous system now. Even though I have a fear of selling, I'm willing to release that from my nervous system now. Even though I have a fear of selling, I am going to release that from my nervous system now. Okay, now this round is going to be what I call a freestyle round. And this freestyle round is going to be us looking at our own specific movie, and I'm going to look at my own specific movie. I'm going to pretend there's a projector, and I'm going to look at my own very specific movie. And as I look at my own very specific movie, I'm going to think to myself, okay, this is the movie. This is who I see. Because it's such a high intensity, it's a 7, I'm going to detach myself and I'm going to speak from the perspective of this person. So I'm not that person anymore. I'm just watching a movie and I'm seeing a character on the screen. And that's how I'm going to frame that in my head, so that way I can see the emotion of that character. I can look at them and I can describe what's going on and what they're feeling and the intensity. So we already acknowledge we have a fear of selling. And the movie that comes up for me is being shy to ask girls out. Being shy about liking girls. Okay? Let's go to this movie. It has an emotional intensity of 7, right? So this fear of selling has an emotional intensity of 7. It's very likely connected to an IFS part or a memory that's stuck, and it has an energetic charge within my body somewhere. All right? So let's work on this. And you find your own movie. You find your own movie and you tap on that. And I have my own movie. I'm tapping on this movie. Okay? So what I see from this movie is there's this kid in the lunch grade. What the fuck? There is this kid sitting at the lunch table. He likes these 2 girls. And he remembers their name. He gets them chocolates because he likes them, but he feels very shy about it because his biological mother makes him feel awkward about liking girls. His biological mother makes him feel very awkward about liking girls. Like it's in his wiring to want girls. As a man, he's wired to be attracted to the opposite sex. And you're making him feel like he should not. That's wrong to do. That's a core memory. Next. There was another memory where his biological mother tells him, don't be fresh. And she used the term freshky weshky. What the fuck does that even mean? What does that even mean? Many times that really affected him psychologically, that affected how he approached girls, that affected him to not even approach girls at times. He was scared to make the move. He was scared to go after what he wanted. There were girls that liked him. There were definitely girls that liked him. And the girls that liked him, he wanted to make a move on them. He wanted them. He was attracted to the girls at school. He was very attracted to the girls. And he wanted those girls. There we go. Come on, track with me. There we go. He wanted those girls. And there was this block. There was this block that was preventing him. And it was his biological mother taking up space in his head. So I, as 36-year-old Gabriel, see that. I see that. I can see that. His biological mother made him feel awkward about liking girls. What does that have to do with sales? Keep tapping. So he started to feel this fear around asking girls out, because he had already a source of like getting some things that he wanted from his biological mother. And those things were video games. He was left alone a lot, but he had an interest in video games at that age. And that interest in video games probably made him think psychologically, I have to be a good boy to get the video games because I'm interested in the video games. And if I want the video games, I have to choose between the video games and the girls. It's a lot more work to ask girls out. It's a lot more work to openly like girls than it is to get video games. So he chooses the video games instead of the girls. He has no biological father growing up and no biological father or man to tell him, hey, how do you approach girls? How do you, what do you do? Do you care if your biological mother makes you feel awkward about liking girls? No, there's no one that I could talk to. There's no one that this young man could talk to about this. And then there's shame attached to this. And the shame comes in when he was homeless at 12 years old. His biological mother gets fired from her job, although she calls it being placed on an involuntary leave of absence. And from that involuntary leave of absence, they would eventually become homeless. And this young Gabriel knew the importance of cash, knew the importance of having a place to stay, knew the importance of being responsible. What does this have to do with sales? Keep tapping. So there was another time where he liked this girl in junior high school. And he wanted to ask her out, but he couldn't. There was this fear of asking her out at this stage. There was this shyness around asking her out. He had built up this identity of being shy. This identity of being shy. Feeling scared of being shy. Feeling so scared of being shy. He was feeling scared of being shy. He was shy and he felt scared. And so this girl had a birthday. He got her balloons. He told her it was from these brands, but it wasn't. It was these balloons from this store because that's all he could afford. And it was very embarrassing when he left school that day. And she opened up the balloons and she was shocked, like, these are not the balloons you said you had gotten. And it was very embarrassing. It was very cringy. And he was poor. He felt so poor. And I could still feel that in my body. I could still feel that moment in my body. It was such a cringe moment. It was such a cringe moment. And here's the situation again. I have to keep saying it because I feel that cringe situation in my heart when I watch this movie, when I think about this memory. So here it is one more time. And now I'm going to say it from the first person as if I'm watching it and this is what happened to me, okay? So as I mentioned, I was homeless around that time. And my biological mother and I, we were on public assistance. I was living on a railway bed in an apartment with a schizophrenic uncle and a grandmother who was going to die a few years later. So I'm going to school. I walk to school every day. And there is this girl, I think in the 9th grade or something, or the 8th grade that I liked. And it's her birthday. I remember her name. Martha. And I remember Martha Corporan. I remember I liked this girl. And I remember that I was scared to ask her to be my girlfriend. I was scared to ask her, hey, let's go on a date. Why? Because I didn't have any cash. And what I had seen at that time growing up was you need cash to impress girls. You need cash to do things. You need cash to go to the movies. You need cash for all those things, especially growing up in New York City. So here I am. I like this girl, and I get this idea in my head. Let me get her some balloons. And I think I had said, I'm going to get you these balloons, and it's going to be from this thing. It's going to be like these brand name balloons or whatever. I can't remember exactly what the name of the characters would have been, but like if Pokemon was a big thing at the time, it would have been like, I'm going to get you these Pokemon balloons or whatever, like those birthday balloons. What wound up happening was I went to the 99-cent store the day before her birthday because Yolanda Sarah, my biological mother, didn't want to spend money on fucking those kinds of balloons. So I already told the girl I'm going to get her these balloons. And because Yolanda Sarah would not let me get a fucking job, what did I do? I already told the girl I was going to get her these balloons. I didn't. And then what? I got her these balloons from this 99-cent store. It was $1 a balloon. The balloons that I wanted to get her were like maybe what, $5 a balloon. But for Yolanda Sarah, this was a better deal. More of these balloons for cheaper. Because she was a cheap fuck sometimes. Okay, fine. She was a cheap fuck because, why? Because she wasn't willing to get more skills, put herself out there, face rejection, do the sales thing. And she wanted to just, hey, let me just fucking get fed hand to mouth, hand to mouth, hand to mouth. I'm not going to put myself out there. I'm not going to do all these things. I'm not going to, face rejection. I'm just going to fucking live my life in such a way where I lay low, I'm quiet, I'm not seen or whatever, and I understand that that's a scarcity thing, that's a fucking fear of survival thing, growing up in the fucking projects, growing up in the hood, growing up wherever the fuck. So I understand that. So I have compassion for that. What I'm saying is, getting back to the balloons, there was these 99 cents balloons that I got, and I put it in this black bag, and I was shamed. I was feeling so much shame. The very next day, I told her, "Hey, I got you these balloons. Da, 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 da. Wait until after school to open them up. Wait until after school to open up these balloons." Okay, fine. And then what? And then and then and then she opens up the balloons after school. I could see it because when we left from school that day, she she's got her friends around her, and they're like, "Oh, let's see the balloons." And then we open it up, and it's these fucking cheap 99 cents balloons. These cheap 99 cent birthday balloons. And I think it made her day at first until she saw the balloons. And I was just really embarrassed because she was like confused. She was like, "What? What is this?" And I remember that moment, and it made me cringe. It made me cringe, and I shoved that memory down deep into my subconscious mind for years. I hadn't thought about that until this live stream. I had not thought about that at all until this live stream. And when I think about it, holy fuck, holy fuck. Now, what does this have to do with sales and the fear of selling? This is my own personal memory. This is my own personal experience. Just like you have your own personal experience as to why you're making excuses to not sell and you fear selling and you say, "I hate sales," but really the truth is you fucking suck at it and you just don't want to do it. Let's just be honest with ourselves here. Please, let's stop fucking lying to ourselves and let's just face the emotional feelings that we're feeling and not try to justify it by saying, "Oh, I hate sales," or whatever. No, please, God, don't do that. So, what it really actually is that, hey, look, the reason why you fear selling, Gabriel, me in specific, my specific memory, maybe for you is different, is because, hey, look, there was this resistance, there was this wall, there was this shyness, there was this fear that I had built up deep in my energy field, deep in my subconscious, that was like, I want the love, I want a girlfriend, I want women, I want to have girlfriends. I want to have multiple girlfriends. And I can't. I can't because, and these are the excuses, because Yolanda Sarah makes me feel awkward about liking girls, because maybe I'm scared of rejection. Nah, not really. Because I'm homeless. Because I'm homeless and I'm going to get judged. And what the fuck am I going to do as a homeless guy, as a homeless kid at 12 years old? What girl is going to love me if I'm homeless? Who's going to love me if I have no money? Who's going to love me if I have no cash? So I already automatically attached my self-worth. I already automatically attached my value to that, to because I'm homeless, I'm not having cash, I don't work a job, I have no value. And because I have no value, I'm not worth it. What girl is going to love me? Who is going to love me? Who's going to say yes to me? What girl is going to say yes to me? This homeless guy. And that was what's going through my head. Eventually that would change. Eventually that would change. And eventually, yeah, I would have girlfriends. But the fear of selling remained. The fear of selling remain within me, and it still remains in me to this day. And now I can recall times where I was a personal trainer, and obviously, as a personal trainer, you have to sell training packages. So I understand that, yeah, you're not going to realistically knock every sales uh, pitch out of the park. You're not going to close every client. You're not going to sell every time that you're not going to sell every time you say, hey, do you want to do this personal training package with me? You're not. You're fucking not. You're not. You're not going to do that. You have to really understand that. And this is the thing that was also weird. It's like, hey, look, we're trading. You're not going to win every trade. Fucking get over it, man. You're not going to win every trade. And in sales, you're not going to close every client. It's not going to happen. It's a funnel. It's a fucking funnel. But these jobs that I had, they made it seem as if I need to close every single client. That's not fucking realistic. That's not motherfucking realistic. It's numbers, it's percentages, it's probabilities, it's a fucking funnel. If I see 1,000 people, if I approach 1,000 people, maybe a percentage is going to say, okay, let's meet up and let's talk about this. And out of that percentage, another percentage is going to say, okay, no thanks. Another percentage is going to make an excuse. Oh, let me think about it. And another percentage is going to say, okay, yeah, let's sign up. Hello? So what am I doing? What am I fucking doing here? What am I doing? Wouldn't it make the most sense to be kind to myself? Wouldn't it make the most sense to have an understanding like, okay, look, it's not always going to go my way. It's not going to be 100%. Let me figure this out a different way. Let me have more compassion for myself. Let me figure this out a little bit differently, please. But no. I was too hard on myself. I was way too hard on myself. Okay, we're going to do a mid-round muscle test to see where we are. I was at a 7 before. Let's see where I am at now. You muscle test for yourself, see where you are at now, and whether or not your fear of selling has gone down to a 0. If not, we're going to keep tapping. I'm going to keep tapping regardless. Show me yes. Show me no. Show me true. Show me false. My name is Gabriel. My name is Hema. My name is Mama. My name is Soraya. My name is Gabriel. I have a fear of selling. On a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being the highest, this fear of selling has an emotional charge of 7. On a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being the highest, this fear of selling has an emotional charge of 7 or less. On a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being the highest, this fear of selling has an emotional charge of 7. It has an emotional charge of 6. It has an emotional charge of 5. It has an emotional charge of 4. It has an emotional charge of 3. It has an emotional charge of 2. 2. Okay, great. We went down from a 7 to a 2. That's easy. That's easy. Now we're just going to keep on tapping at it. That's it. You'll find that most of your transformation is going to happen by just talking about what the fuck happened. That's it. And the quicker that you realize that, and the quicker that you just tap on the emotion and the charge of the emotion and how it made you feel, the quicker it'll release itself. That's it. The trick, though, is to not fear it. It's just to keep tapping. Keep tapping and don't fear it. Do not fear your emotions. Embrace your emotions. Embrace how you feel. There's a reason why you feel the things that you feel. Honor how you feel and pay attention to how you feel, because how you feel, Your emotions, your thoughts determine your actions. Okay? So when you think a thought, if it has enough power to it, if you think it enough times, it's going to form an emotion. That emotion is going to lead you to take action. Be careful about your actions, because your actions can really get you. And thank you, Libby Adams, for telling me about this, making me aware of that. So here I am, with these imprints from when I was younger, and I had this fear of selling. I had this fear of selling. It was a big fear. And I think like every single time that I had an actual sales commission-based job, I would feel like this nausea feeling inside. And I would get nauseous. I'd feel really nauseous inside. I would feel really, really nauseous. Really nauseous. It was so nauseating to go into a job and to feel this shame, this anxiety, this guilt. And I would feel this. I would feel a lot of this. A lot of shame. A lot of fear. Very nauseating. This fear to sell things. I was so afraid. The one place where I did feel comfortable, though, was with the personal training, because they came to me. It's not like I had to just cold call people. There was already people at the gym. The gym already handled that part. The people that were already going to the gym knew, okay, there's a possibility of doing personal training. So all I had to do was just approach people on the gym floor and just say, hey, do you want personal training? Do you want to do a session? And there's nothing complicated about that. But I'm making it very complicated in my head now about direct messaging people on platforms like an Instagram or a TikTok. But it could be so much easier, couldn't it? It could be a whole lot easier. I think. I think it could be way easier. I think it doesn't have to be a hard thing. I think it could be very easy. I think it could be very incredibly easy. But there's that fear. There's that resistance to selling. Even though I have this resistance to selling, I have compassion for myself. Even though I have this resistance to selling, I choose to do what is necessary to provide for my family. Even though I have this fear of selling, maybe it can be much easier than I thought. Even though I have this fear of selling, maybe it could be an enjoyable experience. Even though I have this fear of selling, I choose to change my perception around this. Even though I have this fear of selling, I choose to let go of that belief now. It's just a belief. And what I know from doing this kind of work over the years is that even just me saying I have a fear of selling is a belief. It's just a belief. Does that make it true? In my head, yeah. So if it's just in my head, then I can change it. It's like a virus, like if you have a virus in the body, you can heal from that. All you got to do is just do the things you got to do to take care of it. Your body's naturally going to take care of it on its own. You make it easier by, hey, let me rest. Let me take some hot baths. Let me drink some juice. Let me get myself into an alkaline state. Easy. It's so easy when you think about it, right? It's so incredibly easy. It doesn't have to be difficult. It does not have to be anything. It can be the easiest thing in the world. It can be the absolute easiest thing in the world. The easiest thing ever. It's so easy. It can be. It's just communication. It's just talking. And I've been around people enough to understand how they talk, but I haven't been around people in a while to not understand how to talk to them. I'm not someone for jibber jabber. I'm not that type of person that likes to jibber jabber. I don't have the gift of gab, or at least I believe I do not have the gift of gab. Like, if I think about Gary Vaynerchuk, that guy talks a lot, but it serves him because that's what he needs to do. He's in that field where he's got to constantly talk, constantly express himself, and constantly express his ideas. So I understand that. I really understand that. This fear of selling. I'm going to clear this fear of selling once and for all. And I'm going to change my perception about this. And I choose to change my perception about this fear of selling. This fear of selling is only a belief. It only exists in my head because I give it power. And only because I give it power, it stays true. It stays alive in me. So I have two options now. Either I continue to have this fear of selling and not take action, and not take action on my life, and not take action on improving my financial situation for myself and for my family. I can either A, do that, yeah, or I can B, get myself together, get it together for myself and my family, take massive action, and remove this fear of selling. I can get really good at selling if I choose to. I already know how to build systems. I'm already building systems. I can also sell digital products. Anything can be sold these days. I can sell statues. I can sell whatever it is. Whatever it is, I can sell it. I can sell physical things. I can sell digital things. There is so much opportunity now to sell than there ever was. And I can do this from my home. I can do this online. And it can be really easy if I choose for it to be really easy. It doesn't have to be difficult. It can be very simple. Selling can be simple. That's an idea that I want to really anchor into my subconscious mind. And I'm going to anchor that into my subconscious mind. I'm going to make sure that I know, like, hey, it's safe. It's safe to sell. I'm not that 12-year-old boy anymore. I'm not that 12-year-old boy anymore who was scared to sell. I'm not that 12-year-old boy anymore who was fearing things. I'm not that 12-year-old boy. I'm not that person anymore. I'm still the same vessel, but the consciousness has changed. I'm not that person. I have the capacity to change. And just like over the years, I've changed myself multiple times, I can do that again here. I can change myself again right now. And I choose to change myself again right now. And I will change my perception around the fear of selling right now. I don't have to live like this anymore. I don't have to fear selling anymore. I can embrace sales. I can embrace the lifeblood of a business. I can embrace that aspect. And I don't have to run away from it anymore. I can ask for the things that I want. And I remember the times where I was scared to ask for the things that I want because I was afraid of getting yelled at or screamed at or judged. And this I remember from my childhood. I remember this from my relatives. I remember how they were responding when I wanted something. And I would ask my biological mother, and they would call me spoiled. They would call me so spoiled. He's an only child. He's so spoiled. And they would say this over and over and over again. And it was so nauseating. It was so nauseating. I couldn't fucking stand them. God bless them, but I could not stand them. And I'm so grateful that I fucking left them. I'm so grateful because that's not family. That's dysfunctional, and that is not how I choose to do things with my family. I choose to be very supportive. I choose to be very supportive. And I'm not going to do that thing where, you know, I'm being quiet or I'm fucking holding back because I want to please feelings. No, I'm not going to do that because I want to please feelings. I'm going to be supportive. And if I don't have anything nice to say, I'm not going to say anything. But what I am going to do is I'm going to look at whatever it is inside of me that feels that and address it because it's all based on my beliefs, my states of consciousness, my perception, and the way that I feel. What's in my nervous system? What are my emotions? Whew. Yeah, we're getting there. So this fear of selling is just asking, do you want this thing or not? This thing is on sale. Would you like it? This thing, I'm offering this thing. Do you want it? I'm offering this. Do you want it? Do you want it? I'm testing out this free EFT GPT, and I'm looking for a group of people to test it out and tell me what they think about it. Do you want it? Isn't that easy? Isn't that really easy to do? Hey, I created this EFT GPT. It's free, and it's to help people with their emotions. Do you want it? Do you want the fucking thing or not? It's so simple. Do you want the fucking thing or not? How many people can I message a day? I can message people. I can fucking do that. That's easy. What work does that take? It doesn't take any work. I'm looking at myself. I'm saying, hey, Gabriel, it doesn't take any work. That's easy to do. You have 2 kids. Get it the fuck together. Please. Please, my friend. Please. Make it easy on yourself. Make it easy on us. Let's just do the work. Let's just do the work and let's unfuck our lives here. That's it. You have feared these things for far too long, and it doesn't have to be a scary fucking thing. It can be a very easy thing, my man. It can be so incredibly easy. Just make it really easy on yourself. Make it simple. Keep the whole thing simple. Keep the whole thing clean. Keep the whole thing organized. That's it. And I choose for it to be that simple. I choose to change my beliefs around selling. I choose to change my perceptions. Yes, I may have had a fear of selling because it's connected to my childhood. And I honor my childhood. I honor the fear that I had. I honor the part of me that was feeling shamed around being homeless, feeling like I'm not worthy enough, I don't have any self-worth. I honor those parts of me. I honor the part of me that was scared to go for the girl. And I remember, there was this one time where, hey, look, there was a girl in my bed and we eventually had sex, yes. I just remember that internal nervousness to just fucking do it. Just go and kiss her. And I eventually kissed her. And then, we had sex. And it doesn't have to be more complicated than that. She was already there. She already wanted to have sex. And I'm not going to be ashamed about saying sex on camera. I'm not going to be ashamed about doing these things or saying these things. There's no need to be awkward about this. There's no need to be ashamed about this. This is the human experience. We are human. People have sex. My biological parents, they had sex. And here I am. That's it. My partner and I, we had sex. And now she's pregnant with our second kid. Yes, that's right. I came inside of her vagina. Oh my God. What are you saying? I'm saying we need to release the feelings, the emotional resistances, the blocks, the things that make us feel cringe, things that make us feel awkward. Let it the fuck go and just be honest. That's it. How much freer are we going to be inside when we have released all the darkness? You're going to be much more freer, and you're probably going to have a much better quality of life because you are no longer holding back and feeling that stuck awkwardness. You're now free internally, and you're not conflicted inside. And those conflicts, those inner conflicts, create a life of suffering, a life of misery, a life of self-inflicted pain. And I'm not going to do that to myself, and I'm not going to teach my kids to live in suffering states. I'm going to teach my kids to be happy. I'm going to teach my kids to go after what they want, and they're going to go after what they want, and they're going to get whatever they want, and they're going to live much better because of it. They're going to live much better because of it. Even though I had this fear of selling, I let this go from my nervous system now. Even though I believed I had this fear of selling, I let that lie go from my subconscious mind now. Wait, there is a part that wants to speak. There's a part that wants to speak. And I'm going to give this part the space to speak. I'm going to let it speak. And I'm going to allow it to be heard. Because when I can allow it to be heard, it'll be done. And this part, I would say, is not the violet flame. Nope, not the avoidance part either. What is this part? What's this part that wants to speak, huh? What part are you, huh? Let's see, what do we got here today? Let's say the shamed. The reject part. Oh, okay. Okay, perfect. All right. We can work with that today. Okay. So I'm going to get into the frame of this part now. Okay? I'm going to get into the frame of this part. And I'm going to really feel into what this part is feeling. And when I get into that state of what this part is feeling, I'll be able to help it. I'll be able to free it because I'm not resisting it. I'm embracing it. Who is going to want me? Who is going to want me? I'm 36 years old. You are 36 years old. Who's going to want you? You have ball sacks for bags under your eyes. Your hair is a mess. Your beard is untidy. You have no name, and you really expect people to buy from you? Are you crazy? Are you crazy? You are the guy that keeps starting things, keeps stopping things. You are this guy that has been massively inconsistent. And who is going to do this for you? That's the inner critic. And this critic part is judging this reject part. And this reject part is feeling isolated from the world. I just wanted love. I just wanted love and I felt rejected. I just wanted to feel love. I just wanted to feel love. I just wanted to feel love. I wanted the affection. I wanted connection. I think we all do. I think we all do. We all want that connection. We all want intimacy. We all want to feel what it feels like to feel appreciated and wanted. And that's all I wanted. And I wanted to be accepted. I want you to accept me for who I am. Yeah, I have my own fears and insecurities. And that's even more reason why I need love. Because I need to feel safe. I need to feel safe. I need to feel like it's going to be okay regardless. And I'm going to be accepted for who I am. And yes, there are times where I was rejected. Yes, there were times where I felt like I was rejected and I felt like it was not enough. I felt like I was not enough. That creates a lot of fear. That creates a lot of resistance. It feels like I can't reach out to people. It feels like I don't want to talk to anyone. I don't want to talk to anyone. I want people to just think and know what I need. But clearly, no one's going to know what you need. And so, what is it going to be that I'm going to suffer in silence? Do I even choose to suffer? Do I choose to make you suffer? No. But you've rejected me, though, Gabriel. You've bottled me up. You've avoided me. And all I'm asking for is for attention now. I'm asking for your recognition. I'm asking for your acknowledgement. Please acknowledge me now. I don't want to be here forever. I want to be accepted by God. I want to be accepted and go back Please set me free. Please help me go back to the light. There has to be more love here. Help me go back to the light. Okay, so we heard the reject part speaking. And this reject part is feeling like it's not getting the love that it needs, it's not getting the acknowledgement and the attention, and it needs to go back to God's light now. So now I'm going to turn around and I'm going to face this part. And we are going to look at this part and we're going to tap on it. Thank you so much, part. Thank you for sharing your truth. Thank you for being honest and vulnerable with me. Thank you for being so honest and so vulnerable. Thank you for saying all the things that you needed to say. I love you, reject part, and I apologize for creating you and for not paying more attention to you. Please forgive me. God, forgive me. I forgive you. I forgive myself. I forgive the world, and I thank you for your existence. With unconditional love and acceptance, and I'll send you back to God's light for permanent and everlasting transmutation and transformation. I know it's time to let you go so that you can be free. If you have magnets, take out these magnets right over here. Okay. You can use your fingertips as well. Just wipe from the bridge of the nose back and repeat after me. For your own part, if you've gotten this far, which most of you probably haven't. Even though, and I now release and let go of this rejected part from my body, my mind, my feeling world, and my spirit back to God's light for permanent and everlasting transmutation and transformation. And I now deeply and completely surrender, release, clear, and let go of this reject part from my body, my mind, my feeling world, and my spirit back to God's light for permanent and everlasting transmutation and transformation. And so it is, and so it was. Thank you. And I now completely and deeply surrender, release, and let go of this reject part from my body, my mind, my feeling world, and my spirit. Releasing all fear of cells, releasing everything. It's time for you to go back to the light, reject part. Thank you so much. Okay, now we're going to put out both hands. In the left hand, we've got the reject part. In the right hand, we have God. Okay, let's do a quick muscle test just to confirm. Show me yes, show me no, show me true, show me false. My name is Gabriel. My name is Hema. My name is Mama. My name is Soraya. My name is Gabriel. This reject part is ready to go back to God's light for permanent and everlasting transmutation and transformation. Okay, good. To this reject part of me, I love you, and I apologize that I didn't pay more attention to you. And I apologize for not giving you the acknowledgement that you deserved and the space that you needed. Please forgive me. With unconditional love and support and acceptance, and I'll send you back to God's light for permanent and everlasting transmutation and transformation. And so it is, and so it was. Rest in peace. See the part going back into the light, going back to God. I feel that in my heart. It's beautiful. Okay, let's wrap this up now. Violet flame, violet flame, violet flame. Dissolve, consume, annihilate, obliterate, and dismantle all fear of selling from my body, my mind, my feeling world, my spirit, my nervous system now. Violet flame, violet flame, violet flame. I'm going to do that violet flame now. That's what I was looking for. Violet flame. We're violet flaming it right now. Violet flame, violet flame, violet flame. Dissolve, consume, annihilate, obliterate, transmute, and transform all fears of selling and all fears of rejection and all shame from my subconscious mind, from my nervous system right now. Violet flame, violet flame, violet flame. Dissolve, consume, annihilate, obliterate, and transmute all forms of fear of selling, all fears of rejection from my subconscious mind and nervous system now. Violet flame, violet flame, violet flame. Dissolve, consume, annihilate, obliterate, and transmute my fear of selling and my fear of rejection from my subconscious mind and my nervous system now. Violet flame, violet flame, violet flame. Dissolve, consume, annihilate, obliterate, and transmute my fear of selling and my fear of rejection and my fear around money from my subconscious mind and my nervous system now. Wow. Violet flame, violet flame, violet flame. Dissolve, consume, annihilate, obliterate, and transmute my fear of selling. Let's put this off to the side here. There we go. And my fear of rejection from my subconscious mind and my nervous system now. Violet flame, violet flame, violet flame. Dissolve, consume, annihilate, obliterate, transmute my fear of selling and my fear of rejection from my subconscious mind, from my conscious mind, from my physical body, from my mental body, from my spiritual body, from my etheric body, from my astral body, from my auric field, from every heart and mind across the universe, from my nervous system now. Violet flame, violet flame, violet flame. Dissolve, consume, annihilate, obliterate, dismantle, and transmute my fear of selling and my fear of rejection from my subconscious mind and my nervous system now. Violet flame, violet flame, violet flame. Dissolve, consume, annihilate, obliterate, dismantle, and transmute my fear of selling and my fear of rejection from my subconscious mind and my nervous system now. Violet flame, violet flame, violet flame. Dissolve, consume, annihilate, obliterate, and transmute my fear of selling and my fear of rejection from my subconscious mind and my nervous system now. Violet flame, violet flame, violet flame. Dissolve, consume, annihilate, obliterate, dismantle, and transmute my fear of selling and my fear of rejection from my subconscious mind and my nervous system now. Violet flame, violet flame, violet flame. Dissolve, consume, annihilate, obliterate, dismantle, and transmute my fear of selling and my fear of rejection from my subconscious mind and my nervous system now. Violet flame, violet flame, violet flame. Dissolve, consume, annihilate, obliterate, dismantle, and transmute my fear of selling, my fear of selling, and my fear of rejection from my subconscious mind and my nervous system now. Violet flame, violet flame, violet flame. Dissolve, consume, annihilate, obliterate, dismantle, and transmute my fear of selling and my fear of rejection from my subconscious mind and my nervous system now. Violet flame, violet flame, violet flame. Dissolve, consume, annihilate, obliterate, transmute, and dismantle my fear of selling and my fear of rejection from my subconscious mind and my nervous system right now. And violet flame, violet flame, violet flame, dissolve, consume, annihilate, obliterate, dismantle, transform, and transmute my fear of rejection and my fear of selling. And from every heart and mind across the universe, dissolve, transmute, and transform that fear right now. Produce your divine perfection in, through, and around us right now. And so it is, and so it was. Thank you. And in the name of God and my mighty I am presence that I am, my great divine spirit team, subconscious mind, and the great white brotherhood of the highest vibrational frequency and consciousness who love and support us unconditionally with your unconditional love and support. In your names I command, declare, and decree that I am safe and secure. In the name of God and my mighty I am presence that I am, I command, declare, and decree that I am capable of selling from a very peaceful and beautiful state. In the name of God and my mighty I am presence that I am, I command, declare, and decree that I am safe to sell from a very peaceful and beautiful state. In the name of God and my mighty I am presence that I am, I command, declare, and decree that I am safe to sell from a very peaceful and a beautiful state. In the name of God and my mighty I am presence that I am, I command, declare, and decree that I am safe to sell. In the name of God and my mighty I am presence that I am, I command, declare, and decree that I am the presence of a calm and grounded person, a mature adult who can sell and sell very well. In the name of God and my mighty I am presence that I am, I command, declare, and decree that I am able to sell from a very peaceful and a beautiful state now. In the name of God and my mighty I am presence that I am, I command, declare, and decree that I am safe and secure now. In the name of God and my mighty I am presence that I am, I command, declare, and decree that I am accepted for who I am. In the name of God and my mighty I am presence that I am, I command, declare, and decree that I am safe right now and always. In the name of God and my mighty I am presence that I am, I command, declare, and decree that I am safe always and in always. In the name of God and my mighty I am presence that I am, I command, declare, and decree that I am secure, all is well, and that I am able to sell from a peaceful and a beautiful state. In the name of God and my mighty I am presence that I am, I command, declare, and decree that whoever watches this live stream feels safe, feels confident, feels self-acceptance, so that they can sell from a very peaceful and a beautiful state now. Take 3 deep breaths in. Exhale when I say inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, very good. Even though I had this fear of selling, I choose to let that go from my nervous system now. And I choose to make it okay. That it's okay to sell. It's okay. And that if anything happens again where I do feel that fear, I do feel insecure, I just know that, hey, there is another thing that I get to now look at from a peaceful and a beautiful state with a lot of self-acceptance, and from a state of love and surrender. Thank you. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. Forgive our debtors as we forgive our debts. Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive our trespassors. Forgive our trespassers as we forgive our trespasses. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. Thank you, God, for all you do. Thank you, God, for this day. Thank you, God, for all the blessings, miracles, and gifts of this day. Thank you, God, for healing our heart of all its wounds. And thank you, God, for clearing any fears of rejection, any fear of selling that may still linger, and return it back to your light now for permanent and everlasting transmutation and transformation. And so it is, and so it was. Thank you. I hope you got some value out of today's live stream. If you found it helpful, but you still want to work on your own issues privately, there is a free EFT GPT that I created, and you can find that and download that for free in the description box. And thank you so much for coming on to today's live stream. I invite you to come back tomorrow, 4:32 a.m. Central European time. There's a new topic maybe. There's a new thing to tap on, and we're just going to tap on one thing at a time. Okay, until tomorrow, always remember that we love you, you are loved, and God loves you. Until next time, namaste.